Hi Aslam,
Hi Aditya, how are you?
welcome to Sudeep Audio's YouTube channel.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome to our studio also.
Thank you, and it's been a pleasure to be associated with you for many years now and
In
share.
fact, even goes back to your dad's times
Yes, that's
in
true.
Bombay. Yes.
So yes. So if you can run us through your journey, because it's been a long one, though you don't look very old, but
I am not old to begin with, and
that we know.
I started my career somewhere doing live sound, 78, 79, and my first assignment was with then Polydor India.
But how did you become an engineer? If you could just go a little.
Yes, I
More
was
into the refined mode.
right from school. I was very much interested in amplifiers, speakers.
Okay.
I had my own band, and I had some good friends who were already older to me and electronic engineers.
So you had a band and
So-
you used to play some?
Well, no, I used to do vocals,
Wow.
and the band lasted till college, and it died a natural death. That's what put me into sound because of the band. So once college was over, I did my electronics, and I worked for Philips India for over 3 years in the audio department. Meantime, I was also building guitar amps, keyboard amps those days, and maintaining amplifiers for the then beat groups, what we used to call them the beat groups then. There were lots of them.
As a career, if you can tell me at that point,
Yes.
was it financially viable? Because I'm sure in your times your pressure would have
Well-
been become a doctor, become an IAS, become an engineer.
Well, being a son of a retired ICS officer, my dad wanted me to be an IS officer. But I was not interested in paperwork and I was more into technical.
But was it paying enough?
Those days, yes, because we were very few of us.
Okay.
Like there was Richie in Kulaba, I was there.
Okay.
That's how. And then later on, slowly a lot of people came onto the scene.
Right.
After Philips, I started doing live sound with bands. And then I got my first big break through this friend of mine, Mr. Bashir Sheikh, who asked me to do sound for Music India. They had a Ghazal festival.
Okay.
So it started from there.
Right.
And then I did the classical week for Golden Tobacco Company. It was an annual affair, and that's how I took
Things
off.
started.
Things started.
So the equipment at that time, how was it? I mean, in terms of.
We could hardly get any equipment. So I had built my own console, my mixer. It was a 12-channel console.
Okay.
And those days we didn't have monitoring or anything.
Right.
Slowly, gradually, we were introduced to monitoring and
Correct.
things progressed. But to get equipment those days was a nightmare.
Right. You ran a successful studio in Fort also.
Yes, after my live sound, in 1983 I started my first studio. I have never worked in any studio in my life, ever.
Not as an assistant also.
Never as an assistant, nothing. So just a shot in the dark. I started the studio in Fort, where I used to also live.
Okay.
And that studio really did well. That time there was just Western Outdoor, Radio James, Radio Vani, Line In Studio, myself, and Chandra Studio at Kolaba. So amongst the smaller studios,
Right.
not mentioning the film studios, and we really did well.
Correct. So what kind of albums were you recording at your place?
Well, I was those days TV had become very popular, though there was only one channel, channel number 4. They had serials called Vikram Betal.
Yeah.
The background, the songs were all done by me.
Oh.
Then Khari Khari, Dada Dadi Ki Kahaniyan, all the serials were done at my place, and I was quite busy doing those serials. Later on, I did a whole chunk of Marathi songs that included Ganpati, Lavani, and the famous hit song Billanchi Nagin Nigali was done over there in my Fort studio.
Right. So at that point, like I remember importing all these audio equipments was extremely expensive.
Extremely, it was like non-existent.
Non-existent, correct. We had
Expensive
duty-
is something else.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I would also like to mention that in that period, I did hell of a lot of Konkani albums.
Okay.
All the musicians from Goa used to come, and my studio was like chock-a-block with them.
Okay. Any special reason for that happening?
No, these are my old band connections.
Okay.
And some of the boys, they recorded the band in my studio, they liked the sound, and the word went around, and Konkani music in my studio became very popular. So I was serving everything Konkani, Marathi. I did lot of Gujarati plays, including Eva Mumbai Ma Chal Jaiye with Piyush Kanodia, Firoz Khan, the stage guy, Homi Wadia. These were all these guys were working with me.
Right.
So I had the opportunity to actually service everything.
Right. So at your studio back then, did you have odd hours of working? Because now it's become fashionable to work in nights and...
No, those days it was mostly during the day.
During the day. So there was nothing like work at 2
And
in the morning.
and everything was live. So what could you do at home?
Correct.
You couldn't program at home. There was no such thing as programming. There were no computers.
Correct.
So whatever you did, you had to come to the studio and do it.
You are one of the very few engineers who've come on the channel yet who is not just a sound engineer but also somebody who builds things. Like you said, you built your own amplifier.
In that time I also owned a service department where I used to repair, like I just told you, keyboard amps, keyboards, hi-fi systems.
Correct.
And I used to make gadgets for guitars like overdrives, fuzz, tremolos. And yes, I also serviced cinema theaters. In the cinema theaters, I used to look after the sound, which included amplifiers and the preamps, the projectors, and the arc lamps. My most prestigious was Regal at Colaba,
Okay.
Excelsior, Sterling, Capitol. All these were serviced by me
Okay.
till the time Dolby came in.
Okay.
And I also designed a number of studios.
Mm-hmm.
I have done installations in auditoriums.
And you still continue to do so?
Yes, I still continue to do.
That's wonderful. This kind of a balance, like you come across more like an electronic engineer who's a very good sound engineer as well. I mean, you know the electronics behind the machines.
Yes, I know it. Yes.
So, do you think while with such an experience and qualification and interest, when you record today or even back then, the perspective towards the recording in terms of miking, in terms of, I mean, that time we had tapes, but the whole experience of recording that album would change with you?
Definitely, because as far as the mics are concerned, I have a great collection of microphones.
Correct.
And I've studied them well, their response, the frequency response, the patterns. And well, yes, I use different mics for different instruments. Maybe musician A comes with a tabla, I might use a MD421. Musician B also comes with a tabla, I may not use the 421.
So how do you decide that?
I hear the sound of the tabla in the room. They all differ.
So
And then also the mood of the song, what kind of tone it requires, the song.
okay, so this information about what tone is required or what kind of feel is required to the song is given to you by the composer or the musician himself?
No, it's my decision.
Okay.
And also, yes, I do talk to the composer. What's his idea of the song?
Right. So,
It's always safer to do that. Have a nice warm handshake and get a good product done.
okay. It's just a little query that since you know so much about the electronics like I just mentioned,
Yes.
does it not make you very critical of every recording that you do, that you'll try to perfect it as much as possible? Will that not kind of take away the whole experience of recording and all? Does it affect you? I mean, it's just
No, not really. As
How
long
does
as,
it help this?
as long as I get a good sound,
so
that's important to me. See, the advantage with a person like me and the engineers from my time is that we went through the live era.
Yes.
We have gone through a lot of instruments
Correct.
which are not seen today. Like in my fort, I've recorded live timpani, everything. Today, where do you get to record that?
That's true.
And fortunately, in my studio, I still do live duels, lot of live stuff.
Okay. So, in terms of miking, like you said, you choose based on who's the musician
Yes.
as well as what's the instrument.
Yes.
So, have you kind of tested many mics over the years, or with every musician you test and then decide?
No, I have tested a lot of mics, and also my live experience has helped me. Because traveling all over the world, doing live sound for people like renowned people like Asha ji, Pankaj Udas, and many more. I've traveled with Niladri, Rakesh,
Correct.
going to different countries, handling different equipment, handling different mics, different atmosphere, locations. That has helped a lot. My life helped me a lot.
Right.
I think in my time I was the only guy doing studio and live.
Okay.
I cannot recollect any other engineer till recent times when engineers have switched over to live.
Right. It was also because you started from live and
Came to
moved
studio. Yes.
Came to studio. Do you think an engineer can do justice to both equally?
Yes, definitely.
Because many feel, I'm good in the studio, but on stage I'm not that great.
It's your mental status.
Okay.
Whether you'll enjoy non-veg and veg food both. I do.
Okay.
I love my veg food, I love my non-veg food. So.
Super. Any experiences in the studio that has helped you groom as an engineer? Of course.
Every day.
Okay.
Every day I groom myself. I learn every day, every minute of my life. Be it a kid, I have my assistant Benjamin Fernandez with me for the last 10 years. I still learn from him also.
So
and I'm not shy of learning.
It's not that I have 20 years of experience behind me, so I know everything.
No, I cannot be God.
I
cannot be God. I don't want to be God.
Okay. As we see, a lot of plugins are open on your computer.
Yes.
So you have adapted to the digital technology as well.
Oh yes, I keep myself updated very well.
Right, and use it also.
Yes, since we are in the business, a client is paying me, I need to do justice to him. Okay. And make sure he walks out with a smile. That's how I look at it.
I mean, no wonder you've been touchwood in the business for so many years and going strong.
Yes.
Anything that you like to tell engineers of today, because we have very few who are kind of truly educated in terms of the theory.
They should learn tone. Create a good tone first whilst you're tracking. Your tracking has to be rock solid. If the tracking is rock solid, your mix is a cakewalk. You cannot say that mix mein dekh lenge. It doesn't happen.
Right.
Then you're playing with plugins, you're experimenting then later on.
Correct. At the cost of the client.
Yes.
You've recorded so many artists, like you also mentioned, not just on stage but also in the studio, like
Yes.
Asha Bhosle and
Yes.
Pankaj Udas, and he's still one of your main.
Yes,
we are doing all his albums.
Yes.
Also, Pia Basanti of.
Pia Basanti with Sultan Khan Saab.
Correct. So
which
you
was
have
also
a wide,
a super hit.
Yeah, of course. You have a wide variety of recordings that you've.
I've been fortunate. Yes.
Also, when it comes to the genre of music, like you started off with the Ghazal Week, you said.
Yes.
And you have done a lot of work with all Ghazal
everybody.
singers, yeah.
Talat Aziz, Anup Jalota, everybody.
Correct. So, are you a Ghazal specialist in terms of recording?
No, I'm not Ghazal specialist. No.
Okay.
I'm very well known for my live drums.
Right.
We regularly record drums, violins, group violins. We do a lot of them.
Even today?
Even today.
So, when it comes to this kind of recording of different genres of music,
yes,
have you created by now a standard set of microphones, a standard set of presets, a standard set of plugins that you open?
I have not set any presets. I don't want to do that.
Even for
I would love to cook my food fresh every day.
No, but you do know that for a drum set you need XYZ mic.
Depends on the drum kit.
Right.
How it sounds.
Even if it's the same drummer.
Even if it's the same drummer.
Right.
The kit is different. It's different.
Okay. Before purchasing any equipment, do you test it out several times, or do you just kind of go by hearsay that it is a very popular mic, let me buy it?
No, I study the specifications thoroughly, and then also the company. And if it's a renowned company, the specs agree with me, fine. That's how I look at it.
In terms of educating yourself,
Yes.
when, like you said, you are updated with the latest technology,
Hmm.
how do you usually do it? I mean, it's obviously it's there on the internet now,
Yes.
but is there any other way that you keep yourself?
Earlier in my olden days, I used to write to the concerned companies.
Mhm.
A month later, I used to get a reply
Okay,
because post was also slow.
correct.
So I started then, I getting information, and actually my service in Philips helped me a lot also. Since I was in the audio department, we did a lot of installations through Philips, and my immediate boss then was a Dutchman. He helped me a lot, and yes, I used to rely a lot on the oscilloscope those days.
Okay.
I still have two oscilloscopes with me. I have in fact, I have the entire test equipment
Great.
for sound. Also talking to other people, electronic engineers, and then my travel with artists abroad. I used to always find time to go to music shops there or companies there and talk to those people
Okay.
and learn.
That was your sightseeing.
That was my sightseeing. Yes.
Wonderful. Any message you'd like to give to engineers of today in terms of how should they look at a long-lasting career as a good engineer?
Spend time on your tracking,
Okay.
mixing, get a good tone, don't get carried away.
Mm-hmm. With awards and stuff? Oh,
No, awards, yes, why not? You do a good job, you deserve an award,
right.
definitely.
But anything else you'd like to kind of...
I think do a good job, good tone and clean work. Don't try to copy someone. Just do a good job.
Thank you, sir, for spending so much
Thank you
time with us
for
and
coming over to our place
anytime.
and wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, sir.